Ẹ káàbọ̀ daddy.
Ẹ má bínú sí mi pé.
Láyé. Ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ sà, mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀ sà.
Ẹ jíde wa.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà.
Thank you so much.
Ẹ kú ṣe ní sà. Ẹ kú ṣe ní sà. A máa rí yín pẹ́ o lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run.
Àmì Elédùn ayọ̀ wa pẹ́.
Ojú mi sì yín láíláí. Ẹ ṣe gan ni sà.
Amen.
Ṣé gbúrò handsome young man ni sà?
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run wa. Thank you. Ṣé iná ń gbúrò gbogbo àwọn ọmọ?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni sà.
Ìrọ̀ ayọ̀ lámọ̀ gbọ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run.
Àmì Jésù. Ẹ ṣe gidi gan ni sà. Ẹ ṣe gan ni o. Ẹ ṣe mo dúpẹ́ sà. Ṣé ẹ máa ṣíwájú wa náà àdúrà sà?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ma. Ní orúkọ Jésù. Ológo àti ọlọ́lá.
Kábíyèsí.
Ọlọ́run tó ń jẹ́ ẹ̀mí ni.
Kábíyèsí.
Àtòfẹ̀yìntì.
Kábíyèsí.
Ọkùnrin ogun.
Kábíyèsí bàbá.
Aṣíwájú ẹni, akẹ́yìn ẹni, Ọlọ́run tó ní gbogbo ipá ní ìkápá. Àjúbà rẹ̀ lónìí, Ọlọ́run gba ọpẹ́ wa.
Àmín.
A fi ìyìn fún ìwọ nìkan ló tó gba ìyìn ẹ̀dá, Ọlọ́run gba ìyìn wa.
Àmín.
Nínú ọpẹ́ wa la mú ìbéèrè wa wá. Olúwa dárí gbogbo àìṣedédé wa jì wá.
Àmín.
Ọlọ́run a bẹ̀ ọ́ pé kó yọ́nú sí wa.
Àmín.
Ojú rere àti àánú rẹ̀ ni a fẹ́ máa rí, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ nínú ayé wa.
Àmín.
A fi ètò náà lẹ́yìn lọ́wọ́, Olúwa ṣíwájú wa lónìí kó kẹ́yìn wa.
Àmín.
Wọ́n fi wá sílẹ̀ nígbà kankan Elédùmarè.
Àmín.
Ká ṣohunkóhun nínú ẹ̀ṣẹ̀.
Àmín.
Ṣùgbọ́n nínú ìfẹ́ àti nínú òtítọ́ Ọlọ́run àti nínú agbára rẹ̀, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ ká lè máa ṣe ohun gbogbo.
Àmín.
Ṣíwájú wa Elédùmarè lónìí.
Àmín.
Àti lọ́jọ́ gbogbo a bẹ̀ ọ́, gbogbo àwọn olólùfẹ́ ètò yìí àtàwọn tí ó mọ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Alágbára jùlọ a bẹ̀ ọ́ fún ìyanu ńlá, ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ àánú tó dára, ìròyìn ayọ̀ nínú àgọ́ olúkúlùkù, Ọlọ́run jẹ́ wá pín kárí wa.
Àmín.
Ní orúkọ Jésù la gba àdúrà wa.
Àmín lórúkọ Jésù. Mi ò tí ì rí àwọn kankan kí mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Wọn tí ẹ má bínú sà, mo ń try láti pín ètò ní bíbà yìí náà ní sà. So torí mi ò fẹ́ gba àsìkò yín ju bóyá ó ṣe yẹ lọ. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí yín o dádì mi pé ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ sà, mo wà lórí ìkúnlẹ̀ o, ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni sà. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́, ẹ kú àdúrótì, ojú òní tì yín láíláí lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run tí kò máa bá mi gbé yín ga o, ó máa bá mi bùkún yín. Gbogbo nǹkan tẹ ní, gbogbo èyí tó mí àti èyí tí kò mí, ẹ ní sọ̀kankan nì nínú ẹ̀. Kankan náà ò ní pa yín lẹ́kùn o lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ní mọ̀ kòrò lórí àwọn ọmọ yín, lórí ayé ẹ ní mọ̀, ẹ ní sọ̀kan. Ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni sà o, ojú òní tì yín láíláí. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò yín, ètò wa, bàbá ẹgbẹ́ Dr. Abiodun Òjó, mo kí yín o.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí
ṣe gan ni.
Mo kí yín pé
ẹ tẹ̀síwájú sà, ẹ tẹ̀síwájú sà.
Mo kàn fẹ́ kí yín náà ni àti gbogbo ọkàn tí ó mọ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa nígbà tí a bá tẹ̀síwájú. Ní síwájú gbogbo a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, a fi ìforúkọ pé kó síwájú wa nínú ètò yìí. Gbogbo ọkàn tí ó mọ̀ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa àtàwọn tí ó mọ̀ wo ètò yìí lọ́jọ́ iwájú, a gbàgbọ́ nínú ìfẹ́ Ọlọ́run pé Ọlọ́run á nífẹ̀ẹ́ gbogbo wa pátápátá. Ìbéèrè olúkúlùkù wa ní dáadáa lọ́lọ́run á fi tẹ́ wa lọ́rùn. Ètò yìí àti ìbájọṣepọ̀ wa á jẹ́ fún ti ayọ̀ àti fún ní dídùn. Ẹ ṣé, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni sà. Ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí orí ètò yín, ètò wa. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí fún àǹfààní àwọn tí kò mọ̀ mí. Orúkọ tèmi kò yí padà. Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ Ìyálájé Global Talk Show ní orí YouTube channel, èmi ni mò ń jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Orí Facebook, bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé a fi gbogbo ara kọbi ara mọ́ sí Facebook, ṣùgbọ́n Facebook Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé èmi ni, Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Global èmi ni. Ẹ má gbàgbé, ẹ bá mi lọ sórí YouTube channel mi, ẹ lọ bá mi subscribe níbẹ̀, Fúnkẹ́ Ìyálájé Global Talk Show. Ẹ bá mi like, kẹ́ share, kẹ́ comment. Tẹ́ bá kúrò ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi, ẹ bá mi yà lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ ọ̀gá mi, ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yẹ ń gbọ́ tí a mọ̀ sí Dr. Michael Ajílọ́pọ̀lọ́. Ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Bàbá wa Akin Love, ẹ kú ọjọ́ láéláé bàbá. ẹ bá wa ké gbogbo lé o ẹ máa bá wa pín ètò ṣe ti gbọ́ ẹ ṣé nígbà tí mò ń dúró de dáàdì èmi gan máa sáré pín ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi bí. ẹ kú ọjọ́ láíláí ibo lẹ ti lọ látọjọ́ yìí bàbá ẹ sí láràùnd alàgbà akin love ibo lẹ fojú sí gbogbo lè kọ́ ẹ kú gbádùn o ẹ kú gbádùn ẹ ṣé gan ni mò ń bọ̀ wá à ń pín ètò ni ẹ má bá wa pín torí àwọn èèyàn ò mọ̀ pé a máa jáde ní àsìkò yìí bí mo ṣe máa ń sọ síwájú pé òrèkóòrè ìgbàkúgbà la lè jáde ìgbàkúgbà òun la lè jáde torí pé à ń ṣe gbogbo ìmọ́ra wọn náà ni bó ṣe máa dá náà ni gbogbo wa tá à ń bá káàkiri tó dẹ̀ máa dá so ẹ jẹ́ kí n sáré pín ètò ní ọ̀dọ̀ mi níbí báyìí.
ẹ jẹ́ má bínú sí mi.
ó tì ó láyé sà láyé.
kọ̀ọ̀kan ló wọlé unexpectedly.
so ẹ káàbọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí sà sí orí ètò sà. Yes sir. A kí gbogbo àwọn aráalé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà pẹ̀lú wa ẹ̀yin tẹ́ tún máa gbọ́ wa ní ọjọ́ iwájú pé a kó ọjọ́ ajé ní o ajé àfilẹ̀ ẹ̀yìn àti mi a fi ṣe ibùgbé ẹ ṣé gan ni sà ẹ bá wa tẹ̀síwájú sà àwọn èèyàn máa darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ bá wa lẹ́nu so
ẹ ṣé
ká má gbà yín lásìkò yes.
ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ ìyá Lájẹ́.
Yes sir.
Since tó pé ètò táyé à ń ṣe lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí it's it's not on a particular subject it is basically nǹkan tó ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní inú ayé and then personally èmi ń lo opportunity láti fi respond sáwọn nǹkan kan tí n bá rí pé àkíyèsí yẹ fún pàápàá jùlọ náà fi ètò tó ní ó rí pé àkíyèsí leadership YSDM sí false narratives pé bóyá kan pé èmi ò dárúkọ ṣe mọ̀ tí n bá sọ̀rọ̀ when I speak I'm going to be tí mi bá ní nǹkan tí mo hide if I don't have anything that I'm pursuing there's no need for me not to be truthful and to be certain with people. I cannot be ambiguous. I have to be completely unambiguous and clear. Orúkọ ẹnìkan ṣoṣo tí mo kàn fẹ́ dá lónìí ó ní Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá pé á dáa kí bàbá Akíntóyè kan pé the deputy national leader of the YSDM diaspora Mr. Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá into order because àwọn false narratives tó ń give nǹkan tí àwọn èèyàn understand ni pé whatever is going on in the council is always somehow finds its way into the general public. And because I have the privilege of serving as the general secretary at a point, and because the issues to discuss, especially in the last council meeting, don't hold it, everything that I've heard tends to be which was given to me, information given to me, clearly shows misrepresentation, which is the modus operandi of the leadership of the YSDM. And it's not hearsay. It means so, as a matter of fact, that's backed up with records. But when officials leave, the YSDM's leadership has the way of throwing them under the bus with false narratives to justify whatever it is they're doing at the current moment. So it will be best if it's not in support of misinformation, and if it's not interested in causing complete total chaos among the Yoruba people, he should call Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá into order. Can you reason to me? There's a misrepresentation. There was I saw very few information. Is not as classified as it's nothing too serious that the public should be aware of. Basically, it's not a sensitive matter. ni pé àwọn kan ṣe bá rántí máa bí wa bá àgbà tí Yorùbá nation bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé akérò àwa ètè tó join rárá nígbà tí onítìrí sì wà pẹ̀lú the entire team. When the team was one, still one, and then the YSDM was created, and there was this issue about the national account, central account, Yoruba central account. When they created that funding, there was a particular account. It was created in to be in sync with the Israeli funding in the state of Israel. Accounts don't create for development of the people of the Israelites. Just about the time don't create Israel. So Yoruba Nation followed the same pattern of creating a central account. At the time, it was agreed, even though I was not a member of the YSDM at the point, the council, the general council, and whatever apparatus of administration, YSDM in time, it was agreed that that particular fund cannot be touched. Eventually, it will have to go through the process. That means it will be a motion for them to. There will be a necessity for it to be spent. There will be a motion that will be brought to the executive council. The finance director will have to present it to the executive council, and then the council will debate it and talk about it, and then they will bring their recommendation, whether it's to approve or not to approve or deny, to the general council. The general council will have to debate it and talk about it, and then if there's a need for a vote to approve or not to approve, it will have taken place there, and that's when they will have access to that particular money. There's another account, which is another account where it is used for daily operation of the YSDM, which is what they use in paying a lot of things. Anything to Bashele. This is where the money comes from. One, you can tell you're working for worker to pay or can save any home yield interest. These accounts we are open in Canada. Mo promise pé orúkọ yẹn kan ṣe mo fẹ́ dá. I need dárúkọ àwọn tó wà involved pẹ̀lú account yẹn for now. I'm going to keep it for now until when it is necessary or if it becomes very important that we expose a lot of things. So I'm going to leave that alone as that. But so those two accounts were there. These two accounts were managed from Canada. Initially, I had to open in Britain. I have all the records again, and then they have to open it up, and then some people assisted with help. With one person from Italy, they were able to open the account in Canada. Two accounts. One, that we don't touch the money in there. We're supposed to yield interest and continue to be there. And we did not open it under the YSDM. It was not open as a YSDM. Yoruba Self-Determination Movement could be considered not too good light. And then it could be exposed to to governments clamping on that fund. So it was opened under a different entity, which is the Yoruba Self-Determination Foundation Board, which is the board, Minority Reconciliation, YSDF, Yoruba Self-Determination Foundation. So it was not open on YSDM, Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. It was open. Those accounts were open under the Yoruba Self-Determination Foundation because the reason being that no government can clamp down on that fund. Only lock account. Government in Nigeria. Same thing. So that government, in case somebody declare YSDM as a militant group or terrorist group, so that government will not have the power to block those accounts. Those accounts was not opened under the YSDM. It was opened under the YSDF. Those two accounts. Reason this shouldn't be even topic for discussion at this point, but Emola needs to be called to order because the false narratives don't give the council. It's going to lead to a lot of exposures. It's going to lead, I think they should call him into order before it is too late. Because What happened is pé àwọn tó ń fund, àwọn tó ń hold account initially under one particular doctor. The chairman of the board of the YSDF did not even know that he was the chairman. So many things happen, and I want to maybe pause a little bit, not to hide a little, to keep a little information there, so before exposing, so that and I'll see whether they call him to order or they don't, because then a lot of things is going to come, and I think the YSDM should be very careful as to how they expose people that have served the movement, because when we believed in the movement, we did it, everyone, with all of our hearts, with all of our soul, with all of our being. Now, for them to be peddling false narratives at this time, and I know the reason why, the reason why they're doing it now. But before it becomes a problem for those who will be in trouble, Baba Kitoye, Prophet Baba, moving, and to message, I will appreciate it. I hope, as a matter of fact, I'm going to share this particular show that I'm doing. Or even though I have Baba's phone contact from me, I've been given that information. I'm not going to call him directly, not out of anything. But it's been a while that I've spoken with him, and I really want him to spend time with his grandchildren like he's doing now in the United States. I don't want to disturb that. But I'm going to forward it. I'm going to forward this show to his personal assistant. That I still want to believe that the personal assistant is still, that office is still functioning, hopefully at whatever level. Do you understand? So I'm going to forward this to him that Baba, Towoto Onmo Beyin, Emi Omo yin na ni Abiodun Ojo, láti Ìbàdàn, mo kí yín, àjíǹde ara ọmọ jẹ́ yín o, lágbára Ọlọ́run níṣẹ́ lásán. Ọgbọ́n, ẹ̀bùn ṣe máa ń sọ tẹ́lẹ̀, ọgbọ́n àti ìmọ̀ Ọlọ́run láti fi ṣe iṣẹ́ tó wà lọ́wọ́ yín, Ọlọ́run á fi fún yín. Ṣùgbọ́n á wù mí kẹ́ pé mọ̀lá into order. Because information don't give the council Saturday to Kojai is false. And again, it's so sad that it is the same narrative of throwing people under the bus, people that have served with all of their souls, to try to tarnish and destroy their personality. That's totally uncalled for. I think there should be an amendment. And some of us will be, if need be, we might want to even seek the minute of that meeting. We can petition to have it. Legally, anybody can petition to have it. It's a self-determination movement, right? And at some point, people can petition to have the minute of that meeting, because those narratives should not be allowed, those falsehoods should not be allowed to stand. Kida ni falsehood money won't perpetrate in there. I want to hold account here initially. But this I like to shut account down, because at some point when there was changes in leadership, there was a need for transparency. And the finance director at the time, God so gave him the wisdom to now have access to try to see what's going on in the account. For years, nobody have access. They've always fought the director of finance so that he doesn't have access to view what's going on in the account. But I was between the initial administration and the next administration, so I was able to see the game that was going on, that exposed a lot of things, and then we put pressure. But don't put pressure for disclosure. Those people shut down the account. Some of us worked hard. And then a few other people that worked to make sure we were able to re-register the YSDF in Canada. We actually stopped them from having access to that account. That was how lucky we were. They went ahead and collided with some people that knows nothing in the Yoruba world media to call all of the meeting kan Larumojo meeting mo de sọ fún igbakeji babangba yẹn ṣe akomo ni mi ò ní dárúkọ, so I'm not going to dárúkọ. Mo wọ́n wọn pé meeting tó fẹ́ pè yìí o tọ́ní káwọn world media àti independent media kan ẹnìkan náà independent media kò join wa nù mí mo ní wọ́n fẹ́ fi dọ́gbọ́n sọ pé there is a meeting ni o, meeting of the YSDF o, mo ní wọ́n máa fẹ́ unlock account àti short that block wọn from it o, àwọn èèyàn ò believe me. After that meeting happened, I'm sure they presented the minutes of meeting to the bank in Canada. The bank in Canada allowed them to have access, and then they shut down the account, close it down. So nobody was able to review what happened in that process. Between January, the following January, when these things were happening, the balance in the account every 3 months, give account, I still have the records. That money never grew, not one penny from about 21,000 Canadian dollars. Did not grow at all. When the pressure started around March the following year, when another finance director who was reviewing the account mounted pressure, and when some of us, in conjunction with Baba's views, based on some recommendations for Airwell Romeo, and we launched. Money grew in that account within the space of 6 months from 21,000 to almost 30,000 Canadian dollars. And still, within that period, nobody was owing any money. Baba's stipends was paid regularly. Other expenses was coming up. We was still able to meet those fundings without issues. Now, at the same time, there was another account open in Nigeria. It was in Cotonou, the idea to come up. Cooperative. It was a cooperative account.
Cooperative.
That cooperative was held by one man who is deceased now. That man died last July. Before that man passed away, there was also a little issue because Shampoo YSDM has a transparency thing where it was being so Kato coordinated the overseeing team in diaspora as well as the one in the homeland are able to get things together. Was a little issue. There was a little frictions because our business. It's like pound fund, and YSDM doesn't work like that. For every penny, it has to be accounted for. You understand? Every transparency, and they don't believe in that. They thought it was just you want to bring money, there should be receipts, there should be ledger, there should be requisition, there will be you understand? These things is accounted for because nobody wants to go to jail. But some people want to operate like it's in Nigeria, without oversight. That's not how that works. So there was a little friction, but then we resolved it. But as we were resolving it, the man who was holding that account passed away. So now there was a problem with getting money out or not doing what, because in that account, also with that account. So people were paying into that money. At some point, I think they were able to put in there almost, if not 15, maybe, I'm not sure. I don't want to misquote now. But I know a few million naira got into that account. Substantial amount of money into that account from donations. Accounting loss on Meta, Homeland, and the 2 diaspora accounts. He continue working for working. She understand? Now, when that man passed away, there was a plea, serious plea, to get us to open up another type of accounting, banking. And that's when another account was created that mostly suits the need for the YSDM. It was called a different account. The first one for now. Now, our attorney can manage account here because they live in Nigeria. One of them is an attorney who was the one running up and down. The same person, and she's a member of the executive. She was going to surgery. This woman, if you call a meeting 1 a.m. in the morning, she's on the phone. The only person in Nigeria, now executive, but when you call a meeting, whether it's emergency or whatever, you can 100% be assured that she will be in that meeting. She will join. This woman went into surgery for total hip replacement, was being rolled into, there was a meeting, she answered the phone call. Lorigona. She was coming out of surgery, we were in the phone, in a meeting, she answered, in recovery. Now, this woman was after recuperation was the one running around who eventually used her legal knowledge, her influence and everything to recreate another account so that we'll not lose that money the way it was. Am I following what you said?
I'm glad doing you, sir.
Now, people worked hard without nobody's paying anybody. I happen to have all the minutes of these meetings. Baba Akintoye is in most of these meetings. Again, I have to reiterate, Baba, Professor Akintoye, in most of all these meetings, if he was not in attendance, he has all the updates. Because myself and the vice president and vice chairman at the time always have these briefings every morning or every other morning to ensure that it's carried along with every step of whatever happened, all documented. These people work tirelessly to recreate the account now and then present it back to the YSN. And before all of this, I was the one that raised the motion. There should be no reason why one person should have the alpha and omega power over the Yoruba account. Today I'm here. Tomorrow, if I'm not here, there should be a system in place where not one person will hold the whole movement into ransom. Minutes. I was the one that also moved the motion. But both systems down low, including our website and everything, we should launch another website where no particular individual, we should have a few internet wizards that will control our webpage. I understand. So that not because then somebody shut down a YSM account, nobody can have our chairman. It's a problem. We have to deal with a lot of nonsense to correct it so that not one person have the alpha and omega, because this is the type of power our people want. We try to decentralize so that nobody can hold the YSDM into ransom. And now for Emola to come and be peddling false information about some of us, I think they need to call him into order before it becomes a major problem. Because whatever happened with the account in Nigeria, I want you to warn you, tell you, Nigeria, I want to daruko àwọn nínú Yoruba Nation movement. Government will pick them up, especially if you know. And there was clear. We have meetings, and so keep about to them. These people, when they were concerned, they asked questions in the executive, they asked questions in the council meetings. Are we running a government in exile? Because we want to know so that government oniwa can protect our. And there was a motion moved where there was an agreement where we don't mention, even but a very launch, they don't say Yoruba Nation movement or whatever. If I'm lying, ask people. I'll me mom be to do you well. Don't what get out or they should get lost. Yoruba Nation will know you about, and when they want to violate those things, again. Understand, there was a resolution where we said do not implicate these people because they live inside Nigeria. Don't expose them to government attack. Share again.
Well,
withdraw and take themselves out. Okay, my understanding is that they gave them the check back, close the account. Check in. But unfortunately, those things were open on those. You see, the way things happen is that you have to use people's information. Now they're going around and saying that false narratives, false. Do they have the check or they don't? Then, but you want narrate here. When you are on Combican, one of your account, one of your account, these facts are there. The records of the facts of what happened both in Canada and in Nigeria is written and is not misleading. Why Kayode Emola is now presenting to the council a wrong narrative, I think he needs to be called into order. Before Too many stuff is exposed on this media. And I can assure you, so many people might get in trouble. This is a quiet message that they should want Emola to be mindful of what he says. No, I will respond to false information. If people give him wrong information, I will clarify it. Yes, I'm going to maintain a level of confidentiality, not unless it affects my integrity or my personality or my record. If you try to tarnish my record in any way, I will expose you. So they should be mindful, because I worked with these people, even though like I said, I'm still looking for somebody who will mention my name negatively in one thing or another, because I have responses for everyone. Torí pé Ọlọ́run rí mi pé mo ṣe gbogbo tí mo ní ṣe pẹ̀lú inú kan, àyà kan àti òdodo. And when I saw it is wrong, the direction is wrong, this is false, I left. And I left, it's almost 9 months now. I don't interfere with nothing, but when I only respond to when they're giving false information. Again, if they start to give this false information, they're not stopping, they will be hearing a lot of garbage that they don't, that what, it's not going to be pleasant for anyone. Therefore, Moro Baba Akitoye, then you, orúkọ yín ò ní bàjẹ́ o. Kán tètè pé Emola sí àkíyèsí. Irọ́ tó ń pa ní council yẹn is false narrative. Nobody. Already we know where that the YSM is done anyway. Ṣé àmọ́ ilé tí wọ́n bá ti fi tọ́ mọ ìrù ló máa ń wò. Òwe àwọn bàbá wa ni. Ẹ má bínú pé mo pa òwe. Unfortunately, and they continue in that lie, and it's going to be disastrous for them. Again, I'm going to keep it that little. I only mention him last name because he's the one giving this false information in council. He should stop it, and he should stop it. There's no other word for it. Actually.
Kẹ́tó ẹ kó òun sà, ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré kí àwọn tí wọ́n darapọ̀ mọ́ wa sà.
Personally, if I think it is necessary, I might petition for the minute of that meeting. So they should not think that whatever happens in council is locked up. If I have to have a spinner to get and bring a lawsuit, and especially this general secretary lives in Nigeria. If I have to bring a petition to get minutes of meeting of the council where my name or any other person I've worked with is mentioned and is given in false narratives, I will do so without hesitation. Actually.
Wow. Ẹ kó òun sà. Ẹ bá mi gbé gbòsàlẹ̀ méje fún bàbá ẹgbẹ́ wa, Dr. Moses Abiodun Ojo. Mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dá orúkọ yín, ẹ̀gbọ́n mi. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré kí àwọn ará ilé sà ká tó tẹ̀síwájú àwọn ìyàwó Arísí Aṣírò, ẹ ṣé gan mọ́mí, ẹ káàbọ̀. Mọ́mí Títí Aláyọ̀, akíyín o. Ìyàwó Adéníkè Adédèjì, ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò. Bàbá wa Waris Jonado, ìyálòde orí ìkànnì wa, Madam Mọ́dúnní Adé, ẹ káàbọ̀. Ta ló tún kù? Ambassador Ọlá Ṣóẹ̀tàn, ẹ káàbọ̀, Godfather. Okay. Ó dà pé bàbá wa Abdulrasheed akíyẹ̀yìn náà ní ẹ má gbàgbé, ẹ bá wa pín ètò yìí. Ó ṣeéṣe ká má pẹ́ torí pé ẹ mọ̀ pé irú àwọn ètò báyìí lẹ́nu lọ́lọ́ yìí tẹ́ bá rí, ẹ máa rí pé akọ̀dédé pàápàá jùlọ tẹ́ bá ti rí mi pẹ̀lú bàbá ẹgbẹ́ Dr. Abiodun Ojo, ẹ mọ̀ pé bó ṣe ń lọ, ọ̀rọ̀ tó lọ, òun ni a fẹ́ mú wá sí
òkè. Mo ní ìdí pé ká come online and you accord me that honor. Thank you so much. Ẹ ṣé. Tó ń gbé mi inú tí mo fẹ́ sọ náà ni mo ti sọ yẹn. Kan warn Emola clearly. They should warn him again. Baba Akitoye should please talk to this guy to stop. Plus, this man he has nothing in his head. I'm sorry for that personal attack. This guy really is not somebody who is alert properly. This is a man who does not know process. This is a man, even when he was, I'm not trying to put him down for anything because I have nothing to really, he has nothing over me to, understand. There's nothing for me to nothing. Absolutely nothing. I understand. There's nothing, no personal, no personal. No, hell no. But he really doesn't. Even when emotion was moved in council, he does not realize the emotion. This emotion, I had to call him to order. Like, listen, you're the deputy national leader for God. Is this emotion by a council member? Somebody was raising a serious issue, and you don't even think it's emotion. You were just going on as though these are people who believe. They don't believe in process. They want to just impose. You know, he wants to impose his own idea. You don't have to say nothing. No. This is where some of us are different, because you bring an idea, we look at it and we brainstorm. Two heads are better than one always. But some people want to just believe, that's not how countries are governed. This is not how governments run. And so when people lack cognition of our processes and cannot understand, because there are countless instances, especially when you're a member of the council, you're supposed to bring vital information to a region of the organization, the UK, and you peddling false information. Along, boy, it's not too smart. It looks like this guy is a little slow. Some people think I was, but now I can see, people can see, this is a man who does not understand process. And then he's presenting false narratives to the council. Any reason Sherry, one more YSDM. Under the leadership, one more Baba at this point, I want more Baba to YSDM. You understand? There's no reason we should be lying to ourselves. This is what's going on. They know now that Baba is, is not going to be as accessible as before, because his children wants to spend, these times with him. They need to spend, his grandchildren needs to spend the time with him. They believe that he has suffered as much as he could for Yoruba nation. And the Baronty, once of one part of Yao Baba, Mama, pé wọ́n ní wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ọ̀fẹ́ Yorùbá nation nínú níbi tí wọ́n ti ń sin àwọn àbí. This is what they sọ pé àwọn sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ̀. Tèmi sọ pé mi ò fẹ́ gbọ́ story yẹn. Tẹ bá rántí. Okay, but let us go by their words. Now the children have come to take their father, and they want his grandchildren to be with him, right?
Oh yeah.
This information. Some, when people tell false information in their Egbe and they continue to, instead of us to look at the truth of our matter and decide where are we going with this. When I start bringing my truth and people don't want to listen, they want to continue to fool themselves, you let them fool themselves. So these people already know that without Baba Akitoye, Shema, immediately man Sotipe, or see any other person in the atmosphere at this point that any Bobo or Yoruba, only for tell Elaine. The Babu, Ekumosonga can pay Ori Kanina name of Kuniparo. I want Katiloba and Tatilo for Ludukale. Pé wọ́n á dẹ̀ sọ pé ibi tí bàbá ń lọ tí lágbàtà mẹ́kẹ́dó ń lọ ibẹ̀ ni gbogbo wọn tí mo ní pé ẹ máa gbọ́ o ẹni tó sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó sọ pé ibi tí òun wà ní lágbájá wa o mo ní ibi tó dẹ̀ wà ṣé kò yàtọ̀ sí nǹkan tí bàbá ń sọ dáadé àbí mi ò sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí ìkànnì.
Ẹ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ sir.
Again mi ò fẹ́ dárúkọ àwọn èèyàn for now because I'm still trying to keep it up just like that. Mo ní but àwọn náà ń parọ́ tara wọn. So they know what's going on because it's now fractured. And even if people have senses, they know what's going on. Now these people are back into politics. They're begging, appropriately, rightly so, because this is where he came from. They probably deceived him into the movement, like they deceived some of us. And we believed, passionately in the falsehood they were, I wish it was a different kind of leadership we had. Right? So why would you blame him from going back to apologize to the kings and the monarchs and then get himself back into government like he used to be? Now it is opening in our face. Still, they don't want to believe it. And they still lie that it's in Yoruba nation. Okay, Ojúgbà ló máa ṣe. Nǹkan tẹ́yin fẹ́ gbàgbọ́ yẹn lẹ́ máa gbàgbọ́. Ẹ máa continue to believe it. But this man is already telling you the truth, and then you don't want to hear his truth. He knows that you don't want to listen, and he knows what's up. But you might not like me, you will like him. But at the end of the day, we'll see who you're going to dislike. I'm telling you that this person is no longer in Yoruba Nation movement. It's not about Yoruba Nation anymore. It's about survival of the fittest. People are going back into what they used to be because they know now the leadership is gone into nothing. Timbawa tún wá ń parọ́. Yàlájé send a voice note kan sí mi lẹ́nìí. So ojo gàtè kò fẹsẹ̀ méjì máa tiro. Even within the fellow now saying àwọn tó tún ti ń gbé sọ pé àwọn ò ṣe mọ́. Àwọn ọba dàgbà gbogbo ẹ̀ tó ti fracture káàkiri. Now, these people, when they gave that false narrative yesterday at their Abijeta Nino council meeting, it is only for one purpose. So that the balance to cool. That's 29,000, almost 30,000. Tí mo sọ fún yín gbà tẹ́mi máa kúrò yẹn. Owó tó bá nínú àkáǹtì yẹn sí. Wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbà náà ti gbà wọ́n ti fẹ́ gbà ti gbà tán. Tó pé àwọn kan lọ́kàn try to protect them. Reason that ṣòwò ìkọ́ yìí. There has to be emotion. This money is not to be touched. I understand? But they won't take the money out anyways. It's like but over rally to kọjá ní June tán pariwo takú ti Jésù tán náà sọ yìí. Over 20,000. Ibi tó wọ́n yẹn lọ mọ́ mọ́. Ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn méjì. 2 people got large share of that money, and I know where I know what happened. Now, Eshiro ṣe 20,000. Wọ́n àkáǹtì ṣe olúkálùkù tó ń jókòó síwájú ilé tẹ́lẹ̀ ń jókòó dọ́là ọdọọdún mélòó ní ìṣẹ́jú ń kájọ́. Ṣé bàbá ti padà jáde fún yín ní information tó kù?
Hold on, sir. Hold on, sir.
Wọ́n ní pé ẹ máa jókòó síwájú ìta tó bá yá a tún máa sọ fún yín ìṣiṣẹ́ tẹ́fẹ́ gbé. Now, how many months lẹ́tí ń jókòó wájú lé pẹ̀lú aṣọ funfun lọ́rùn? When I'm saying these things, they think I'm against the Yoruba Nation. But I'm telling you that this is a lie, and these people do not want to listen as to what we need to do. We don't have to be lying to our people. We need to take other actions, other steps, and follow suit in the line of whatever is going to work for our people first. If we follow in the pattern of the 3 Sahelian countries, our people will at least be safe today. There will not be terror that is going on in Nigeria today. They're killing our people, and then there will be wealth. I mean, we'll start to build our national economy. These people are taking sovereignty over their natural resources. Look at Burkina Faso, look at Mali and Niger. Their citizens are no longer trying to cross the ocean to travel to now. Instead, as a matter of fact, people are returning back home to build their country. Which is better? Do we continue in this state of perpetual killings? Or do we stabilize the country first? And when the country stabilizes, then they will seek the Yoruba Nation. Isn't this the right way to go? Who is following who? But because you want us to, the sentiment, okay, Yoruba Nation, yes. And Tobalon go and find Yoruba Nation, Jumilo, Poto Taraje. But we cannot survive. It is impossible to get Yoruba Nation out of Nigeria with the way it is like this. Nigeria needs to be stabilized first. That's a fact. West Africa needs to be stabilized. Foreign influence needs to be removed. These foreign boots should not be on the ground. We need to take sovereignty over our national resources. That's the only way we can. And then, de-abuse our minds from colonial mentality, from this false information from Kosinoriwa, and let us start building our own nation based on our cultures and traditions. Then we'll set our living arrangements among ourselves. At that time, there will be a Yoruba nation. It has always been. Yoruba nation, the nation has always been. But these other borders, now imperially puts in place, is what is causing chaos, and they're also feeling it. In a region of chaos, where we cannot be stable, we cannot even be stabilized. Even when we get Yoruba nation, then our cannot put our Yoruba nation. I cannot do the better Yoruba. I got a call your language. I can play the language. All of this nonsense. And this imperial powers, we seize on it, and then we'll start killing ourselves even the more. Why should we be stupid?
Hold on, sir.
We cannot be stupid. So what they're trying to do is to create a false narrative so that wọ́n lè sọ pé kán release owó tó wà ní Canada mẹ́ẹ̀. Even among the BDF, àwọn BDF fún sí board of directors Yorùbá foundation tí mo sọ yìí, they've started, wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní eliminate àwọn èèyàn, wọ́n ti mú wọn nípò sí torí wọn jẹ́ kán gbowó jáde. Àwọn kan wá ń create click oríṣiríṣi lórí èlò. These people want the money out. So don't mọ̀ pé in another month or two, mo sọ fún wa, mo predict pé in another 2 months, let us reassess the leadership of the YSDM. Mo tún sọ lórí ìkànnì lónìí, ẹni tó bá rí any clip níbi tí architect George Akinola tó ti announce passport tó ń sọ diplomatic passport. I want to see that clip. Ṣé pé architect George Akinola is an intelligent man. He's a good politician. He's somebody who tries to maintain some level of integrity. When he sees foolishness, he doesn't talk. When he sees stupidity, he does not say a word. I want to see what he says about these things. You will never catch him saying one thing. You will not. I'll be surprised if you see him, on any record like that, of this type of nature. He may be speaking in the executive council, maybe giving ideas, but not in general public like this with all this type of false narratives I'm creating. If I'm wrong, I want to see it for my records. People should record me and keep what I'm saying today for records. Because ọ̀rọ̀ tán ni ó dà lálà. Gbogbo tí mo sọ yìí, mi ò kábàámọ̀ rẹ̀ o. Tó bá dọjọ́ ọ̀la tí máa sọ pé mi ò mọ̀ nǹkan tí mo sọ, ẹ mọ̀ pé ọmọ àlè ni o. I know what I'm saying. And these people that are telling you what they're telling you, they know exactly what they're saying. That's why I'm saying. And I'm calling out only one name today. Kí bàbá kìlọ̀ fún Káyọ̀dé Émọ̀lá kó yé pa irọ́ fọmọ Yorùbá nínú council meeting mọ́. Pàápàá jùlọ lórí àwọn tí wọ́n ṣe kìràkìtà tán fi gbogbo agbára wọn náà fi ṣiṣẹ́ pé ká lè rí àkáǹtì stabilize padà. Bàbá ẹ̀yin náà sì mọ̀ sí. There's none of those meetings that you were not in attendance, that you were not briefed on. I know how you were praising and praying for those teams that worked tirelessly to make that happen. And now that things are not going their way, they want to just give money out any kind of way, and people are saying, Agba a secure account kì í ṣe nítorí pé kẹkànlé wa nà, because accusation táwọn tó hold account tẹ́lẹ̀ ń sọ ni pé ó lè ní gbogbo leadership náà ó pé àsìmáàbà wọ́n ń pe bàbá understand wọ́n pé ó lè. Àwọn dẹ̀ ń sọ pé no. The movement, if the council says release money, you have to release it. It comes to a point where they're saying no. The council will ask for money. They will say no. One person will be telling you no. Is that how government runs? Is it your money? Is the Yoruba money, right? Those are my questions. And then some of us fought to make sure that does not happen again. So when the Yoruba people say, and especially the council ratify and approves, well, this money is spent, nobody can hold it. We have to spend it. Even if you disagree. Àwọn owó kọ̀ọ̀kan wà tó approve tí mo disagree pẹ̀lú. Tí mo rí pé you know what? Ẹ má jẹ́ ká sọ pé a fẹ́ raise memo láti gba owó inú owó ọmọ Yorùbá o, because èmi ò mọ̀jú tá a fẹ́ fi explain nílé. Ẹ jẹ́ ká dá owó ìlànà ara wa more than 3 occasions. Gbàtọ́ ti rí pé nǹkan yẹn ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Àwọn tó máa ń gbé false information wá pé wọ́n ní ìdówó, wọ́n bá dínkù. Gbàtọ́ ti mọ̀ pé inú council náà wọ́n ti dá láàrin ara wa iná láti dá. Tọwọ́ bọ owó ọmọ Yorùbá. Now, as soon as some of us left, they want to be taking that money anyhow. And some people say, no, this is not why we took this. We took control of this. It's supposed to follow a standard procedure. Why are you cutting corners? So now they're presenting false narratives and throwing those people under the bus. Cut the Mola into order. Because what he's starting, he might not be able to finish it. Kò tí dárúkọ tèmi o, bọ̀dẹ̀ mi dárúkọ ẹ̀.
Ẹ ṣé gan ni sà, ẹ kú òun sà. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò Ambassador Sóẹ̀tàn, ẹ káàbọ̀ sà.
Thank you so much for this exposition. This is a great exposition. This is a wonderful information you gave to this just tonight. I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much to the conversations.
Godfather.
Ẹjọ́ mi ò gbọ́ wọn dáadáa.
Okay, ṣẹ́tí Godfather mi ni. Godfather. Wọ́n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín ni sir.
Ẹ ṣé gan sir, thank you for calling in. Dúpẹ́ tẹ́ dáa pọ̀ mọ́ wa.
Orúkọ wọn rèé sir, àwọn náà ń sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn sọ.
Ẹ ṣeun.
Ambassador Soetan, àwọn ni máa ń pè ní Godfather. Okay, ẹ tẹ̀síwájú sir.
I'm just surprised that after Moses she went all states till now. Because I think that get out of the team. I remember February 23 that she public discussion that's we're not part of the Badish anymore. I myself, Yekuku, and Prince Omaba,
I don't know what's going on.
No, hold on now. Daddy, nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ ni pé wọ́n ní pé wọ́n kí yín, so wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ọmọ wa ìtẹ̀ ṣe pẹ́ síbẹ̀ pé 2023 kan ni pé àwọn làwọn ti kúrò níbẹ̀ àti wọ́n dárúkọ àwọn.
Most of you, some of us were thinking, maybe, if we modify, benefit of the doubt, like over time, most of you, we try to protect Baba seriously. It took a long time. And then we try to give benefit of the doubt, okay, we are, and then I personally tested. Abi cognition Baba because of age. No, Baba is acute. His mental ability is acute. Is very sharp. He recalls things with accuracy. Baba is not. Now I tried. You worked with the system and say, maybe we can change. Maybe this needs to be done. And then we saw, no, I'm not gonna say more than that at this point, Ejo.
I cannot say it as publicly because it cause public alarm. It creates public alarm. I'm actually hearing from some against Baba is not the chairman of YSM anymore. That's a big news to me. The advice from the father is Baba can new leadership. Baba is not ready to appoint new leadership. Nearby Badish and Jeffrey Gong. Baba is supposed to have resigned and hand over to some people hands, but Baba is not ready to do that. He's not ready to do that because it's crash the Badish on here. Okay, it's crash the Badish. The Badish is already crashed on the floor right now. I don't know what was on the political position. Can't people know why any? Go for no, so you know about the ship. On the right on the low. But the power of Spaja, disagreement, go to your wallet. Now, by which we did one. One shot on that by only full lot of the one by a joint one that's by the one shot on so we can recognize connect to come to his senses and come go to the right channel. Right channel and the right channel don't feel it. You told us because of Sarah designed to go to your gift for your Radi cook over that. Could have moved up power. That's the right channel for him, but if you refuse to do that and keep knocking on the window, because that's what I don't think about it alone. To look on the window, call it just knocking on the window. Hey, we shall shout because he is on that.
Benny, sir. Daddy.
Benny, Eshegon.
Then, anybody to see a story, I am Malawa, the one who calls positive.
That would be nice. We can have, if people can, Emola, 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 Kisi Ayimola, Mr. Emola, EMOLA, Emola.
Yeah, Emola.
Yeah. Loruko, I mean, it would be nice. Kayode, Emola, so that you can, that's his name. If you want to come on the show, he can come on the show. He's more than welcome.
Oh, yes.
If he wants to come, then he can come and clarify what he's saying. He should not be throwing people under the bus, especially when he's giving false information. If he does not have the information, I can tell him. Because at the time, there was a time to pay UK. Break up YZM at some point. You understand? At the end of the day, I like to move up. They had to throw some people under the bus, including more than one council meeting. Money, don't let us do this because this information is not correct. Oh, because you're the general secretary, yes, you're supposed to have information. Does not mean that you have all the information, you know. But we cannot be giving false information. People will not talk. A lot of these executives that are is it deliberate? Was it deliberate to restructure the YSDM so they can put imbeciles that cannot think in the council? Expert committees, not vice chairman, vice chairman. You understand? People, yeah. But then they said revamp and restructure. We tried to revamp and structure, and then they brought in all these imbeciles that cannot think. I was in the middle of people that cannot use their brain. I'm not trying to condemn everyone, you know, but people, even if they can think, they don't talk. They keep quiet. And then when you talk, you're looking like an outcast. Like, I'm not going to sit among this. Hell no. I don't believe. I was sacrificing. Nobody was paying me. I was not looking forward to anything to gain other than the salvation of our people, the liberation of our own people. So what is the point? So why is somebody going to be shouting down on me or trying to talk when you're trying to bring honest discussions, real discussions, or you bring reality into our discussion and let us think about it. And then people are going playing games. Even those who were in the top leadership, when they were calling me behind, come and join them. Joining after battle Losodo Kabisi. But you understand? I'm not going to do that because you have to be honest and true. If you're not honest and truthful, I'm not. Why should I even follow you? You're deceptive. And then some people will be peddling lies. Emi only came and log back 29,000 Canadian dollar to Ambe. But at the end of the day, but my donors, but 18,000 US dollar, I 19,000, I 17,000 US dollar. And it's a jumble left in that. And you will let my in lower now. And being a bimet at men, at the end of the day, but marry $6,000, $5,000. Katopulaju, Katosi Jack Robinson, etinata. That's all you want to do. That's nothing else. Because you know there's no longer nobody is gonna. As a matter of fact, the Yoruba SDM is not going to be the same thing under Emola. Everybody knows that. So YSDM is George Akinla able to pull it off? Let's see. And then some people jogging under the ground, and then we see a majority of them already go back to politics until also than urbanization. Tell me. So as soon as they get the contract they're looking for, the security of Yoruba nation. Yoruba states.
Daddy, all right, sir. Okay, sir.
Baba will do Yoruba nation replace by resigning within 3 months. Why should you resign within 3 months? You put his name on the bad record forever. And that's not going to be good for you. You resign nobly. Baba needs to resign nobly within 3 months. He doesn't resign nobly within 3 months. Everything will crash on him. And doesn't look good on him. But it does not look good on him. I mean, every allegation, everything. Come on, every allegation is from YSDM. Baba YSDM. So Baba is the head of YSDM. So the allegation goes to directly to Baba. That's where I see it. Exactly. The other people say, "Was about my declare to turn declare." Oh, there's already not be declare. What kind of leader is this one? But this is not a good leadership, and the leadership come and lie. I will not even come and defend the lies and just lie and just lie and just. reply. I told Baba, I know but to the pleasant memory of the late Dr. Janet Fajapi.
Interrupt there, Joe.
One first, sorrow. Eldon, Godfather, Eldon, sir. Okay,
actually, it's not like I really want to be talking about Baba and throwing him under the bus like that. Like, just for him to call Emola into order, because we shouldn't be talking about this. Talk about still Obama give false reaction. All of my talks about YSDM is in reaction to what people are saying, or what their members or their officials are saying, or what they are doing. Because you cannot bring passport out and be telling us about passport. We should be asking questions. You cannot be fooling us like that. And I know exactly what it is that is happening, especially among the crew that is doing it. It's fraud. That's why I spoke. And then when I hear what Ebola is saying in council, it is false narrative. So as much as I don't want to talk about Yoruba Nation and talk about Baba in any kind of negative way, he should call Ebola into order. That's all.
Okay,
Professor Banji Akitoye is the leader of the YSDM. At least TTD Wakati University.
He's gonna have to fix everything.
Okay, sir. And you too, sir. Mi kí sèkì mi, sir, àtàwọn ọmọ. So àmọ́ pé ọmọ mi Yẹmí Folúkẹ́ ẹ káàbọ̀ mọ́mí Rẹ̀mí Ọ̀ṣùgbòyè ẹ ṣé gan ni o ẹ ní dánìkan ṣe ilé ayé yín ẹ bá wa kí dádì Babátúndé Olúwatósìn àtìyàwó wa ẹ ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ láti gbọ́ yìí o bí bàbá wa tí wọ́n pè wọlé yàn wọ́n ní ká gbé tó bá ṣeé ṣe bóyá alàgbà Káyọ̀dé Ẹmọ̀lá tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ àwọn náà lè tí wọn ò bá sọ pé báwo ni yes àwọn náà ní wọ́n ní ẹ̀tọ́ àbí láti wá sọ bó bá ṣe rí ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ǹjọ́ yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ so bó ṣe wà nìyẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí nǹkan táwa gbé dúró níbí báyìí ni òtítọ́ a ò sí láti wá tako ẹnikẹ́ni tàbí láti wá mú ẹnikẹ́ni balẹ̀.
Ó wá o kò wá o èmi mọ̀ pé there will be legal challenge to subpoena the minute of that meeting tó ṣe níjẹta yìí it will be subpoenaed. That's a fact. I can tell you that for sure. So Baba Akintoye need to call this guy into order. Tábà fẹ́ kí law enforcement kó tọwọ́ bọnú gbogbo agbádá YSDM. People should not be talking negatively about people wrongly or falsely. A lot of us have reputations to protect. We have our personalities to protect. We are minding our business. You understand? So wrong power YSDM into all this detail. Láti jọ mo ti kúrò ń bẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀. Gbogbo nǹkan tí mo ń question ni gbogbo false tẹ̀ ń gbé passport jáde gbogbo nonsense yẹn tẹ̀ gbẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe rárá gbogbo all of those those are comments and but then you want me to go deeper into stuff. You keep putting people's name under the bus falsely. That's not right because I was in all these meetings. Even Emola was not part of those meetings. A majority of them because gbogbo time ẹ bá pé kò ní join meeting. So where is he getting his information from? Why is he saying this false narrative to the council? That minute will be subpoenaed. I can guarantee you that. But Baba Akintoye need to call him into order before it blows out of proportion.
So ẹ ṣe ìyàwó amọ́dún ní adìyẹ ní kí wọ́n wá gbẹnu sí máa yẹ. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyàn èèyàn ara lé tí kò bá sí ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá tún fẹ́ pè wọlé mọ́ ànípẹ́ mẹ́tò tì ní ìwá sí ìparí so bó ṣe ń lọ nìyàn bí mo ṣe sọ ìgbàkúgbà pàápàá jùlọ tẹ́ bá ti rí mi pẹ̀lú bàbá Ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá mi mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dá orúkọ wọn Dr. Moses Abiodun Òjó tí wọ́n bá ní nǹkan tó ń gbé wọn nínú ẹ̀tọ́ tèmi ni láti ṣe kíni láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n wá sọ láti jẹ́ kí wọ́n wá sórí ìkànnì.
Ẹ̀rẹ́gẹ́ mi ni mo ṣoríire jù ìpàdé mi ní ìpàdé yín tí mo ṣe pàdé yín ṣe rí pé Ọlọ́run mọ̀ sí ó jẹ́ pé ohun gbogbo ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún rere fún gbogbo
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni
ewé wọn ní agbo kékeré má bẹ̀rù ni láti máa ń tẹnu mọ́ kí ni ẹ pé ìfẹ́ Olúwa ni láti sọ ní ńlá wọ́n lè máa wò wá pa kéré o ṣùgbọ́n ó yẹ Olúwa
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sà
bẹ́ẹ̀ ni agbo yìí yóò máa dàgbà tó máa gbèrú ó tọ́ lẹ́gbọ́n yẹn àṣẹ́gun àṣẹ Èdùmàrè àṣẹ Olúwa Ọlọ́run àwọn ọmọ ogun
àmín Jésù
kò sí agbára kan tàbí ìmọ̀ kan kò sí orúkọ kan tàbí èdè kan kò sí ìmọ̀ kan tàbí ẹ̀mí kan tí ó lè yí padà
àmín Jésù
lórúkọ tó ju orúkọ lọ ni mo sọ.
Olúwa ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà tí ẹ bá bàbá wa kábíyèsí sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ bá wa kí wọn sà ẹni àṣẹ kábíyèsí
dáhùn bí mi yẹn ṣe mi ò dílé Ọlọ́run mọ̀
ẹ ti pé wọn láti gbà náà sà
bí mo ṣe ń sọ yìí mo sì pé ọmọ bàbá tí mo fẹ́ dọ́gbọ́n rán sílé ṣe mọ̀ mo dẹ̀ máa ń lọ pẹ̀lú spirit mi ni pé àsìkò tí tó láti pé bàbá yìí.
ok sir so ẹ̀yin ará lé ó jọ pé a ní rí jù báyìí lọ ní èní ẹ má gbàgbé mo fẹ́ bẹ̀ yín lẹ́bẹ̀ kan ni kí ni ẹ bá wa pín ètò yìí ẹ bá wa pín ambassador godfather ẹ bá wa pín ètò ẹ pín káàkiri ẹ bá wa jẹ́ kó débi tó yẹ kó dé.
máa share fún PA bàbá mo sọ fún yín I'm gonna share this. Yeah, because it's important. Because if he says more than that, if I hear any other thing, honestly, it's not going to be funny. It's not funny. And I don't want things that will drag in the public media, not only in social media, but in printed public media. People should be careful. And the Baba doesn't want that for himself. I don't think so. You know, at the time it matters most, he made sacrifices. He made some sacrifice. He made sacrifices. Where it went wrong, only God knows. And why he listened to the people he listened to, and why he's doing what he's doing, I don't know. But clearly, some things, I'm not going to say more than that.
Ẹ̀yin èèyàn mi gẹ́gẹ́ bí àkọlé tí mo fi ṣe ìgbà tí mo ń ronú ìgbà tí mo bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ tí mo kúrò lórí aago tán mo wá ń wò pé àkọlé wo ni mo ní ọmọ ọ̀dọ́ náà fi ọgbọ́n ṣe.
Òótọ́ ni Ìyáládé mo post ẹ̀ sórí social media mi lánàá tẹ́ bá mọ̀ because finally ṣe mọ̀ pé olóyè lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ ni unfortunately gbogbo aládùnmọ̀ nǹkan tí ó tó tibẹ̀ jáde wọ́n ní òkè ń mọlé àjẹgbà tó bá gbà ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin ìyá o tó mọ̀ pé ìránṣẹ́ Olódùmarè ni gbogbo wa kì í dẹ̀ ṣe pé mo sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yín ní ìsọkúsọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn Ọlọ́run ní rí mi mo sọ ní ọ̀rọ̀ báwọn bàbá ṣe máa ń pa lówe náà wọ́n ní a kì í mọlé àjẹ tàbá fẹ́ sọ náà pé a kì í mọlé Abíọ́dún gbà ṣe understand a kì í mọlé oṣó gbà tàbá ní pé oṣó ni Abíọ́dún nìsín òkè kò sẹ́ni tó lè mọlé oṣó Abíọ́dún yìí gbà bí kò ṣe wọ́n ní tó bá gbàmọ́ tó bá mọ́ jù á ní Abíọ́dún sọ pé ṣé kò mọ́ bá pa ọ́ jẹ tó bá tó gbà tó gbà mọ́ á ní òun lọ ìwọ̀sí so ọ̀dọ̀ ṣé ilẹ̀ ló gbà tó ṣe ara ṣe mọ̀ that means pé you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Kí ni nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ fàyọ̀ mẹ́? If a person already know that the moment is already come to a hitch, to a dead end, and the narrative or the explanations is no longer holding water. When the explanations to the people is no longer holding water, wọ́n tí àbá mọ̀bítà ń lọ ṣèbí àmọ̀nàbítà tí ń bọ̀. So nobody is going to blame him if he returns back to what he used to do. So the right thing for him, again, and I'm not blaming him, let them blame her for it. When he's talking about àbúrò mi ni, because mo jù lọ lọ́jọ́ orí.
Oh yes.
Ó lè jù mí lọ gbogbo nǹkan tó kù o, but lọ́jọ́ orí Ọlọ́run fi mí ṣàgbọ́n.
Òdodo ọ̀rọ̀ ni sir.
So if he's my younger brother, will I advise him otherwise? Of course, màá ti sọ fún tipẹ́tipẹ́ náà. Àgàgàgbà tí mo ti wà rí nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, ṣé mi wà ní sọ òdodo fún un? Yes, and it will be nice if they accept him back. If they can give him what he wants, at least legally, properly, in terms of security-wise, we can secure, we can bring safety to our people. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ fún ní nǹkan tó lè fi ṣe. Well, now wọ́n tún ti dàdé ayédè sáàrin àwọn tán lè jọ gbọ́dọ̀ àwọn ayé báyìí nísìn. Gbogbo àwọn tọ́jọ́ jẹ́ security apparatus tó àwọn ọmọ tó fẹ́ tí ó lè lò láti sọ pé àwọn dáàbò bolẹ̀ Yorùbá nísìn wọ́n tún ti dà ayédè sáàrin wọn. Ṣé lè mọ̀ pọ́ta Yorùbá? Ṣé rí nǹkan tó mo sọ lélẹ̀? This is exactly what I'm saying. That even when we take Yoruba nation, I say it is difficult to get Yoruba nation out of Nigeria under this current situation. It is easier to get the whole of Nigeria, secure Nigeria first, and then carve Yoruba nation out of a stable Nigeria than to try and get Yoruba nation from a very unstable country. And our people don't want to listen to that because but because they're not going to be relevant. And so they don't want to do it. Ẹ fẹ́ máa rékì ọmọ Yorùbá kẹ lọ máa kó òtẹ́ kẹ lọ máa gbé àwọn ọmọ aṣẹ́wó káàkiri Nàìjíríà máa fẹ́yàwó 3 mẹ́jọ sílé kẹ lọ máa dá oko kẹ lọ máa dá business kalẹ̀ sí Nàìjíríà and ẹ máa parọ́ táwọn especially àwọn tó wà ní diaspora you be lying to them under false pretext and then raising hopes. Unfortunately, we have men that are 90 years old giving their money. They will be saving this thing because they know where we're coming from. They will be putting their money and you'll be taking it when you know you're lying. That's what is sad.
Olúwa, kábíyèsí.
Wọ́n láwọn ó dàgbà o.
Jésù.
Èmi ò ní kán má dàgbà o. Wọ́n fẹ́ dàgbà. Ìgbọ̀n ṣọwọ́ wọn ni ó mú kí wọ́n dàgbà. Ẹ ṣé.
Ó deep gan ni. Ọlọ́run mọ̀ ń gbọ́. Ó deep. Pàápàá jùlọ ọ̀rọ̀ tó jáde lẹ́nu yín yìí sà. Ó deep. Ọ̀rọ̀ sunukun.
Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ jọrí ahun torí àwọn míì nú wọn ti rò pé àwọn ti jẹ agbára débi pé wọ́n ń tanra wọn jẹ. Àwọn míì wọ́n gbójúlé lúbúlúbú àti atare àti gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ tó wù kán lè fẹ́ wọ̀ tán rò pé wọ́n ti gbàgbé pé òótọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀.
Kábíyèsí lódò.
Lórí òótọ́ nìkan ló lè jẹ́ fún yín òótọ́ lẹ́gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi lẹ́nìí. Gbàtí Fádé olóró ṣe títí tó pé èké pọ̀ náà rẹ̀ ìkà ló pọ̀ náà ẹ̀ kò sí inú mímọ́ ló fi ń ṣe nǹkan tó ń ṣe ṣé kò tẹ́bọ̀ ń bẹ́ẹ̀ tó ń ti ràn ẹ̀. Ẹ lọ wo àrélù dáadáa. Òótọ́ lè lágbára kẹ́ fi fìlà máa pé ní. Ó lójú orin tẹ́ ṣe ó sì lójú erin tẹ́ lè pa náà anyways. Ó lójú erin tẹ́ lè pa pẹ̀lú fìlà yín òótọ́ lẹ gbọ́ lẹ́nu mi ẹ̀.
Orúkọ Jésù àṣẹ Èdùmàrè.
Kádà mórúkọ Jésù kò mẹ́ òótọ́ ṣẹ̀rí òtítọ́ ni ó ní èmi ní ọ̀nà òtítọ́ àti ìyè àbí èmi ní ọ̀nà òtítọ́ èmi ní ọ̀nà ó pè pé ọ̀nà lòun ó lóun ní òtítọ́ òun sì ní ìyè. Bíbélì sọ pé ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ló ṣe kíni o ló gbéga ju kíni ju orúkọ rẹ̀ lọ. Ó sì tún sọ pé ní àtètèkọ́ṣe ni kíni wà ọ̀rọ̀ wà pẹ̀lú kíni pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run náà sì ní kíni ní ọ̀rọ̀ náà. So if it's the ọ̀rọ̀ and it's the òtítọ́ and I'm talking òtítọ́, what are you talking about? You first have to go through that before you come to me. Ẹlòmíì and that's why mo sọ pé gbogbo àtàn láwọn gbogbo rọ́tán gbogbo jàkálẹ̀ ọ̀tán kó lé wọn lọ́rùn yẹn tí wọ́n fi òótọ́ ọdún ṣe tán fi ránṣẹ́ èké ọjọ́ kejì ọ̀dà òfurufádà ọjọ́ kejì ọjà. So wọ́n gbẹ́kẹ̀lé pé àwọn ìgbà tán wá ti pa ọ́ tán báyà ṣe náà yìnbọn bí nígbà kan mọ́ wọn tán lè kókò wọlé láti wò pọ́nà ti dọkùnrin. O ẹ káàbọ̀ o nítorí tí nǹkan ló ń ṣọṣẹ́ o. Ẹ continue kẹ máa fi gbá ewu orí kẹ́ mọ gbá wọn, kẹ́ mọ dé wọn mọ́kòtò, ẹ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ dàgbà. N tí ń bi ni ó bi ni o. Ogun ọ̀ràn, Ọlọ́run kú mọ̀ pé mi ò fẹ́ àṣẹ sẹ́nu báyìí, mi ò fògùn kan bánu tí mo fi ń sọ ilé tí mo sọ òtò tó bá jẹ́ òótọ́ ni àṣàsí kan ọ̀ràn, ẹ̀fún kan ọ̀ràn, àfọ̀ṣẹ kan ọ̀ràn. Òtítọ́ lòtítọ́ ọmọ jẹ́, kò sí nǹkan tí yóò yí padà. Ó ti tán, kò sí nǹkan tó lè yí padà. Ohun képe ọ̀ràn. Àlùpà ìdá kankan ò lè padà. Àṣegbé kan ò sí níbẹ̀, òtítọ́ ni òtítọ́ ọmọ jẹ́.
Títí láì.
Ó ti tán. Yes. Hold on 1 second.
Okay, sir. Ẹ̀yin aráalé, ẹ bá wa pín ètò yìí. Ibi tẹ́ bá lè rí pín dé. Orí ìkànnì tí ẹ bá wà tẹ́ bá rí pín, ẹ máa fi ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Alàgbà ambassador Godfather, ambassador Soetan, ẹ dárúkọ àwọn màmá kúkú, ẹ bá wa pín dé ọ̀dọ̀ wọn. Ìyá wa ọmọọba Adéjọkẹ́, ẹ bá wa alànà, ẹ bá wa pín dé ọ̀dọ̀ wọn, ẹ bá wa pín. Ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni. Mo ń dúró kí wọ́n padà. A máa mú ètò wá sí ìparí ká dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀yin aráalé. Ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ tí a ní láti dìjọ ronú sí ni. Bí mo ṣe sọ nígbà tí wọ́n pè mí ní àná pé òkè Ìyálájé àwọn máa wálé ni. Mo kọ́ fẹ́ ìgbà tí a sọ̀rọ̀ mo kọ́ fẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n ṣé mọ̀ Ọlọ́run ò dá wa bákan náà. Tí n bá sọ pé ìkànnì wa dúró lórí òtítọ́ téèyàn dẹ̀ fẹ́ sọ tinú ẹ̀, torí pé Ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ká jẹ̀bi. So why not? Ìrọ̀rùn ló bá dé. So òtítọ́ là gbé dúró. Ká wá tó máa lọ nígbà tí mò ń dúró dè wọ́n. Ẹ má gbàgbé ẹ̀yin aráalé. Ẹ bá mi lọ sí Powerhouse Gospel Ministries. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Powerhouse Gospel Ministries. Ní Facebook, ní abẹ́ àkóso bàbá mi Prophet Olúṣọlá Ọlọ́kọ̀. Ẹ lọ bá mi follow page wọn. Ẹ like, kẹ́ share. Kẹ́ share, kẹ́ comment. Ẹ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa nínú àdúrà wa ìṣòro. Ó máa tó parí. Àtẹ̀yìn àtèmi a máa rí àánú gbà. A máa rí àánú gbà. So bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Ẹ fún wa ní ìṣẹ́jú kan sí méjì sí i. Mò ń dúró kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá ẹgbẹ́ Dr. Moses Abiodun Òjò, mo fi sọ̀wọ̀sọ̀wọ̀ dá orúkọ wọn, kí wọ́n wọlé padà. Ká tó wá máa lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ o. A tún máa ṣètò ní ọ̀la. Ó ṣeé ṣe kó yẹ pé mi àtọlọ́run ni. Bí mo dẹ̀ ṣe máa ń sọ, notification bell yan, ẹ jẹ́ kó wà on. Ẹ jẹ́ kó wà on, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, torí pé ìgbàkúgbà la lè jáde. Ìgbàkúgbà òun la lè jáde. Mo lè jáde ní dédé aago 9 tí máa ń jáde bí n ṣe máa ń jáde. Ó lè jẹ́ pé lọ́wọ́ àsìkò tá a jáde èmi àti ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Dr. Moses Abiodun Òjò. So ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sà.
Ẹ ṣé, ẹ má bínú sí mi.
No, ó ti sà o.
It's okay. Because individuals don't need attention. So.
Ẹ wà okay sà. So òun náà ni. So mo ti akí àwọn aráalé pé wọ́n ṣe gan ni sà. So
ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́. Again, mo tọrọ àforíjì tí because of nǹkan míì là ń wish láti máa sọ lórí bí nǹkan tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní agbègbè ibi tá a ti wá, pàápàá jùlọ lórílẹ̀-èdè aláwọ̀ dúdú. Gbogbo iṣẹ́ rere tí a very dark man ṣe, it's worthy to be discussed all the time. And comments, especially when you see the things that Malema is talking about in South Africa, across the land. To meet our parents, he's actually calling himself the president of United Africa, Shema. And I pray that he becomes the president of United Africa because by the power of his convictions, look at the words he's using. You understand? Statements the boy make. Review so many people will read it and not even take it serious. But lẹ́nu ọmọ ọwọ́ àti ẹnu ọmọ ọmú Bíbélì sọ pé Ọlọ́run ti ṣe kíni ó lànà agbára. Mo sì gbà aládùúrà pé ọ̀rọ̀ tọ́mọ yẹn ń sọ agbára àṣẹ Ọlọ́run agbára ọ̀rọ̀ ó máa gun orí ẹ̀.
Àmín.
Yóò wá sí ìmúṣẹ.
Àmín.
Because nínú rẹ̀ ni àlàáfíà ìran àwọn ọmọ tèmi náà ń bẹ. Without ẹlòmíì This is what is happening in Yoruba nation, because it's not going to be directly me involved in the liberation of our people. Then we cannot go nowhere. No. Kò mátà ìbá ọmọ kùtàkùtù wenji ló máa gba orílẹ̀-èdè wa sílẹ̀, ìbá ṣe as long as tá bá ti lọ tá gba òmìnira, tá ní orílẹ̀-èdè tí àlàáfíà wà, why not? But we cannot have that orílẹ̀-èdè àlàáfíà wà without force securing Nigeria. We're going to be lying to ourselves, because these imperial powers they put us in bondage they only expect. It is now that Africans are opening their eyes and seeing what's happening, and people are speaking up. And they also are working hard to make sure that we never get to that consensus. We will have had United Africa a long time ago.
Yep.
News that when some of our leaders, when they came to that conference, Ghanaian man, Nkrumah, they were saying, thank God they failed, that the vote to have a United Africa failed, because then I will no longer be prime minister. Then I will no longer be president. This is what they were saying when our leaders were leaving from that conference. The same thing to share in Yoruba Nation, self-determination movement. If I cannot be president, if I'm not going to be governor, make sure change the direction government. We can make a lot of noise. The Yoruba Nation was capable of making so much noise and making a violent takeover of the government possible. And I'm not careful using that word violent. A violent takeover of the government. Yes, I said that. I'm saying it. That was my intention. That there should be a violent takeover of the government of Nigeria, because this is where they want to keep us, a place where we are fearful and we cannot tell the truth. That is why I respect the man called Malema in South Africa. This man is saying everything with boldness. We cannot have leaders that will be cowards. People lying, they cannot declare. They'll be telling you they're going to do this, they won't do it. They will be lying to your face. You understand what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. When Ibrahim Traore took over in Niger, did he take over by peace?
Yes, sir.
Abdurrahman Tiani Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Abdurrahman Tiani of Niger. Was he of Niger? No, did he take over by peace? Assimi Goïta of Mali. Did he take over by peacefully?
Okay, sir.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, sir. Ẹ̀yin mo ń bọ̀ wá o. Mo like comment ìyá wa yìí, ìyálóde orí ìkànnì wa. Mo like comment yín. A ní pẹ́ parí mọ́ o, ẹ̀yin aráalé. Ẹ máa bá wa like, ẹ máa love, ẹ máa bá wa pín ètò. Wọ́n wà níbi iṣẹ́ ni. Okay, ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sá.
They didn't take their country by peaceful means. And we see what's happening. And because of what they're doing, even these imperialists are waging wars against them, using their own people to wage war against them. What are we talking about? Are we kidding ourselves? We cannot be kidding ourselves. Even Malema in South Africa, the way he's talking, they will still try and undermine him. They win election. But the man is already talking fearlessly. They know that he's talking fearlessly, and he doesn't care. But he also took precautions he's taking precautions to make sure they cannot just unalive him anyhow. But the truth is being spoken. You want to check?
Yeah.
But he's speaking the truth to his people, and the rest of Africa is listening too. I think he's visiting the Sahelian governments this week or so. We'll see what comes out of that. That's the only way we can be free. Securing the peaceful coexistence of all African nations and removing these imaginary borders that these imperialists put in there. we can have one currency. Just about any one currency in Africa. Not share dollar leg. That's when we continue to, that's when we start to experience what? True freedom. There was this post in this band that talked about this imperialist instrument, when the United Nations itself was actually formed by about 40 countries, about 54 or something.
Yeah.
So these instruments, the World Bank, the United Nations, and all of this, the IMF, were institutions created not for us, not for the colonized countries, but for the colonial masters. Only it can only be two reasons. Either they are very stupid in the instruments they perform, or it was deliberate. Which is which? Are they stupid? I'll say no. Was it deliberate? Yes. Because everything they've done after that is calculated, is deliberate, and it's forceful. They force you to take the bitter pill. They make you to swallow it by force. They bring it, they come with different terms. Structural adjustment program in Nigeria. The SAP. So Koyamile Mbata on one shapa. I say Japan, then
Japan,
So this is where we are. That's why I said I was advocating for violent change to the leadership and the direction of the Nigerian government. Because when you speak to the people in power and they want to follow the colonial masters, it's no way to go. Look at the brilliant response of Ibrahim Traore to the King of Britain. When the King of Britain, tactically, cleverly, the Bible will the word clever, cleverly thinking, I want to try to power boy several times. They come for diplomacy. Mistake. Because before they meet any leader, they know exactly what they want to talk. They've prepared the documents, they've gone over it with him, his experts have spoken to him at length. So the king came and tried to talk with Ibrahim and say, you know what? Oh, welcome, my big Okibioma. Oh, don't worry, we will guide you. We will guide. Look at the word. We will guide you. Ibrahim Traore looked firmly in his eyes. No, thanks. We don't need your guidance.
Okay.
Africa has been guided for so long, and our people continue to live in that type of guidance we don't need. We will guide ourselves in our own ways, using our own arms, without dependence from anyone. Don't worry about it. Let us guide ourselves this time around. King Charles, was he changed?
Benny, yes.
And everything that everybody was quiet and everybody was sharp. This is the type of leaders that Africans need. The true son of the soil, the lion of the heart of Judah. We are, whether you like it or not, because we live in the Garden of Eden. Look at all the deception. Now, African leaders are rising and saying, give us another map of Africa. Who created the Sahel, that canal? Who created it? And cut off Israel and the Arabs from Africa. Who did? Why was that done? And why are they changing stories? How is Africa a black continent, but then you have white men that was carved out of Africa? And this is their narratives, and this is what they tell in Africa, and this is what they want us to imbibe. Again, unless we have leaders that are bold, that will not dance and follow the steps of the imperialists, it's going to be a tough one. Just last week, or a week before, just about last week, early last week, now they caught a lot of terrorists that these imperial powers were sending into Burkina Faso again. And who are the people they're sending? They're sending black-skinned people, giving them weapons and ammunition. So Tabak by Yoruba Nation, would they not be sending? They will be sending more Fulanis into our ground and killing and killing and killing. Weapons that were later. They will supply it at cheap because they want to continue to exploit Africa, because the resources is coming from Africa anyways. Mali àti Burkina Faso àti Kini nìkan ló gba ìjẹ lẹ́nu tí about 58 companies not shut down in France.
Yes.
Electricity producing companies in France shut down.
Very good.
So what do you expect? And then we have leaders that are not going to say no to imperial powers and yes to the people. But then you have a very dark man Now he's coming and bringing these stories too. That these people are the ones sponsoring terror in Nigeria. Clip bingo, thank God. At least, nobody is going to say they're not listening to a very dark man. When a dark man put light on that, I say thank God. Because then this imperial powers knows that majority of the people now know. And that's what they're terrified of. They don't want us to know. They want to pretend. Now on this media, we're shaking bay because they want to continue to believe that their secret and their wicked, evil ways is hidden. It's undercover. It's covert. It's covert operations. No. It is in the open. We know exactly what you're doing. That's why we don't need democracy. Honestly, I think Africa should kick democracy into the gutter. Let us design our own type of leadership, of governance in Africa. That's why it is good to have a central government, a unified military force, and a single currency. With a bank, an African bank, that backs every country in Africa, not in the IMF. They want to colonize us by force again, but because we have some superpowers that are interested in this, that are been sovereign because of their wicked ways, it will be a stalemate. At first, and then Africa will emerge as a leader. There will be a stalemate because they want to fight us. They will definitely want to fight because it will be like a declaration of war. France right now is getting uneasy. At some point, I think France as a country might want to declare war on some African nations. They're just looking for whatever they can use. Some excuses to use to bring in NATO or to say there is a need for war. But because they are afraid of Russia, China, and North Korea, they have to make sure it is perfect. They have to make sure something is right.
Àmín.
Àwọn agbàbọ̀dé ní ilé aláwọ̀ dúdú Elédùmarè ò ní fún wọn ṣe àṣírí wọn ò ní bò.
Àmín.
So that this journey is a journey of no return to freedom. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló máa rí. But we cannot be myopic, just Yoruba nation. Again, like I said, it has to be comprehensive, total victory for the entire continent of Africa, for Nigeria in particular, and for the Yoruba nation to emerge specifically.
Ẹ ṣeun gan ni sà, ẹ kú ohun, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ yín kò ní dọ́bà láṣẹ Èdùmàrè sà. Ẹ̀yin aráalé, ẹ bá mi gbé gbòòsà ní ẹ̀ẹ̀mejì fún bàbá Ẹgbẹ́ wa ká tó máa lọ. Wọ́n tiẹ̀ ti ń bá mi gbé, ẹ ṣé gan ni mọ́mí rẹ̀ ní Ọ̀ṣùgbòyè, ẹ ṣé ìyàwó Amọ́dún ní Àdè, ẹ ṣeun gan. Mọ́mí Rísí Aṣírò, ìyàwó Adéníkẹ́ Adédèjì, Ambassador Godfather, ẹ ṣé dádì mi Waris Jinadu, ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni. A fi àsìkò yìí dúpẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ní ọwọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin aráalé, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà ní abẹ́ ètò tẹ́ ẹ comment, ṣùgbọ́n tẹ́ ń farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ wa, àdúpẹ́ o, ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà pẹ̀lú wa tẹ́ ń bá wa comment, àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin náà bákan náà. Ojú ò ní tì yín láéláé o, Ọlọ́run máa ṣe alátìlẹ́yìn fún gbogbo yín, ẹ ṣé gidigidi gan ni. Àjọṣe wa kò ní bàjẹ́. Mo wá kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá Ẹgbẹ́, mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dá orúkọ yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Dr. Moses Abiodun Òjó, ẹ ní jábọ̀ o lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, ojú ò ní tì yín lágbára Èdùmàrè. Ọlọ́run máa bá mi pa yín mọ́, ó máa sọ ìjáde àti ìwọlé yín. Ọjọ́ tẹ́bi bá máa pa ilé ẹ̀ ní sí nílé, ọjọ́ tẹ́bi máa pọ̀nà ẹ̀ ní rìn lọ́nà lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Mo sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ ní, èyí tó mí àti èyí tí kò mí, èyí tó ń múnú yín dùn kò ní pa yín lẹ́kún, ẹ ní wá kankan sí nínú ẹ o lágbára lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ẹ máa jèrè gbogbo àwọn ọmọ yín, ẹ ṣé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀, ẹ kú ìfẹ́ ìran, torí pé ẹ ṣe gúdúgúdú méje yàyà mẹ́fà. Ara nǹkan tí mo ṣe gbà fún yín ó nìyàn nígbà tí a pàdé. Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́ pé ǹjẹ́ kò wá ní ìdí bí Ọlọ́run ọjọ́ kan ṣá, ṣùgbọ́n tí ń yé mi bọ̀ ìdí tí èmi àti yín tá a fi pàdé. So ẹ ṣé, ẹ bá wa kí àwọn aráalé ká tó máa lọ sà.
Ẹ ṣeun Yàlájẹ́, mo kí yín pé ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun mo gbàládùra kò ní sú yín o kò ní rẹ̀ yín
àmín àmín
ọwọ́
Jésù
ọ̀tá ọ̀dẹ̀ ní mú yín
àmín
èpè wọn ò ní
àmín
jà yín èpè lánìí kì í já àgbọ̀nrín ṣẹ́ bọ́ ìmọ̀tú ìmọ̀jọ ìmọ̀ àwọn ẹni ibi lórí yín kò ní jọ
àmín
lágbára
Jésù
Ọlọ́run ibi gíga báyìí ni wọ́n ní ibi gíga láti máa ń gbóhùn la máa ń gbóhùn òkè òkè báyìí ni olóbí sì máa ń so òkè òkè báyìí ni wọ́n ti máa wò yín lágbára Elédùmarè
àmín
gbogbo
Jésù
àwọn tó ń wò pé wọ́n dé wọn bà wọ́n tẹ̀fẹ́ gbogbo wọn bókò tí ń jẹ́ ti Ọlọ́run tó ti tán jẹ́ òtítọ́ tí ìmọ́lẹ̀ ń jẹ́ ìmọ́lẹ̀ ipa wọn ò ní ká yín wọn ìmọ̀
àmín
wọn
Jésù
ò ní kan lórí yín
àmín
Ọlọ́run á dùn yín nínú Ọlọ́run á tẹ́
àmín
yín lọ́rùn Ọlọ́run á
àmín
fi púpọ̀ bá yín ṣe
àmín
agbo yìí ní agbára Ọlọ́run pẹ̀lú inú òtítọ́ ó sì máa gbòòrò
àmín
tàdí ńlá
àmín
bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn àṣẹ ọ̀run ògùn gbogbo àwa tó wá nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí ètò yìí tá a sì dúró tì wá tọkàntọkàn mo gbàládùra fún yín mo ṣe súre fún yín alájẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà máa rí fẹ́yìn náà
àmín
ọmọ yín wá ṣe rere
àmín o
lórí gbẹ̀nsán bí ò ṣe bí ọmọ
àmín
ibi tí ẹ bá ti ń wojú Ọlọ́run fún nǹkan fún ìrànlọ́wọ́ ẹnìkan bí igba èèyàn ní ó dìde ìrànlọ́wọ́ fún yín lágbára
àmín
Ọlọ́run á
àmín
tẹ́ yín lọ́rùn
àmín
Ọlọ́run á dùn yín nínú
àmín
kò yín ò sì ní wò kùnkùn
àmín
àlàáfíà lẹ fi sílẹ̀ ayé ẹ ṣe
àmín o
àdúpẹ́ ẹ bá wa pín kẹ bá wa ṣe àkáàkiri again mo pààrọ̀ wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí tọwọ́tọwọ́ ni mo pe àkíyèsí pé kí bàbá kan jọ̀wọ́ kan pé Káyọ̀dé mọ́la pé tó bá jẹ́ pé àwàdà ló ń ṣe kó lọ stop ẹ̀ tó bá mọ ìtumọ̀ nǹkan tó ń ṣe tó yóò bá mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe kó tètè mọ̀ tó bá rò pé ìkọ̀kọ̀ lòun ti ń ṣe kó mọ̀ pé gbangba láyé ti ń bọ̀ kó tọwọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ bọ́ṣọ kó sọ agbẹjẹmọ́wọ́ kó yé parọ́ máwọn ènìyàn orúkọ rere ó sàn ju owó àwọn fàdákà lọ orúkọ rere yìí làwọn kan tá dúró tì àlè fàdákà àlè dọ́là Canada o àlè owó ọmọ Yorùbá o ṣùgbọ́n orúkọ rere táwa kankan fi sílẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ogún àti inú kan tá fi sìn làwa dúró lé lórí pé kó mọ̀ bà orúkọ àwọn èèyàn jẹ́ kó yé parọ́ kó mọ̀ fi irọ́ kún ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ àwọn ní kó mọ̀ sọ àṣírí ohun tó bá ṣókùnkùn kó sọ gbogbo àṣírí òkùnkùn kó ó lè tú síta none of us is saying none of that but n ta bá ṣe tó jẹ́ òótọ́ ni kó tẹnumọ́ kó máa sọ tí ò bá dẹ́ fẹ́ sọ tá a ṣe tó jẹ́ òótọ́ yẹn kó sá máa parọ́ mọ́ wa simple as that ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé meeting yẹn ó máa di mímọ̀ fáwọn èèyàn ẹ ṣé.
ẹ ṣé gan ni Dr. Abiodun Ojo bàbá Egbe ìkúnlẹ̀ mi rè lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ kú dìde sá ẹ ṣé gidi gan ni sá ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ ṣé gan ẹ ṣé ẹ bá mi kí mọ́mì ẹ bá mi kí handsome young man ni àti àdúrà gbogbo lé wa lápapọ̀ bàbá yín sọ̀rọ̀ sá God bless you sá ẹ ṣé sá. ẹ̀yin aráalé àní rè jù báyìí lọ ẹ bá wa kí gbogbo lé o ẹ ṣé gan ni ó dàárọ̀.